Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be opening Ultimate Legends Fantasy Packs for the new limited time Aeneas Williams and the two new 99 Ultimate Legends, Jonathan Ogden and Leroy Glover. And I'm also just going to be talking about some of the news that has come out with the Madden 20 beta, some of the most popular comments, complaints, concerns, admirations. So probably the biggest thing that's came from the Madden 20 beta that I've heard so far, I don't have the beta, but from what I've heard on Twitter or Reddit or other social media platforms or people sharing their opinion, has been the prevalence of the pass rush. So I guess the pass rush generally gets home. A 4-man pass rush will get there in about 2.5, 3 seconds, maybe even a little sooner. So what I've heard from that, there's two sides of the fence. There's people that believe that that's too powerful of a pass rush, and that also goes with the X Factor abilities that are on some of the D linemen, countered by the fact that there is no X Factor abilities on offensive linemen. So there's some concern there that the D-line will become too overpowered because there isn't a direct counter on the offensive line. However, there's also the other side of the fence saying that creates a skill gap. You'll have to adjust your game a bit to go against the pass rush. That'll force people not just to drop back 15, 20 yards and throw deep crossers with, 7 to 9, 10 seconds in the pocket without, the pass rush getting home. I definitely think that based on what I've heard, the pass rush should maybe be tuned down a little bit. And the main reason is because the X Factor abilities aren't on offensive linemen. So there isn't really a counter to that. So when Aaron Donald gets fearmonger and he's able to apply pressure to the quarterback, when he's not even, in his face, he can still be engaged in a block and apply pressure. That can even bring down the pass rush from 2.5, 3 seconds to all of a sudden after 1.5, 2 seconds, I'm being pressured, by Aaron Donald up the middle. That definitely happens in the NFL. Aaron Donald has that effect. But I also think that it can become too overpowered. In the NFL, you can neutralize a guy like Aaron Donald if you do bring 2, 3 guys to block him. Obviously, that allows other people one-on-one, free rushing lanes potentially. So that's when you'd have to incorporate more of a quick passing game to neutralize that effectiveness. So there's definitely that feeling of a chess match by an increased pass rush. It forces the offense to adjust. But again, because there's no X Factor abilities on offensive linemen, I do feel that it isn't necessarily a fair chess game. The defense could get a fearmonger or other X Factor abilities to increase their pass rush, yet the offensive linemen can't. But again, I haven't played, so I don't necessarily know how effective the D-line is on a play-in, play-out basis against the offensive line. But from what I've heard, maybe tune it a little to make the pass rush a little less effective. Another thing I've heard is that QB throwing motions are too long. So things like 15, 20-yard throws, even like 10-yard throws, quarterbacks like Tom Brady are winding up like they're throwing a deep bomb or they're throwing a Hail Mary or something. There's, again, two sides of the fence there, two schools of thought. You're either on the side where you think the throwing motion should be shortened because, again, that fast pass rush combined with no X Factor abilities on the offensive line to contain some of the X Factor abilities on the D line, combined with increased throwing motion, means that you have to make that decision really fast and deep routes won't develop every play. There's also the other side where it thinks that creates more of an authentic feel of the NFL. You're not just able to drop back 15, 20 yards, press A to throw to your receiver, and the ball will come out right away, perfect dot, 50 yards down the field, with half a yard of room between the defender and the receiver for a big gain. On the throwing motions, I'd agree that, again, I haven't seen much of it, any of it, because you can't capture the beta. But based on what I've heard, I'd fall on the side that the throwing motion should be kept the same. I definitely don't like to see, deep crossers. I think the pass rush may be a direct utilization. They may have put that in to directly counter the deep dropbacks and 50-yard crossers down the field. But again, I've heard with crossers is when you are able to get that protection and throw the ball downfield, the zones are still broken and you're still able to get those crossers downfield. So I would have rather liked to see them fix the zones rather than heighten the pass rush so you can't get that throw off. Here as we get 98 Zach Brown, the cool animation there for the player spotlight in our final pack. But again, with those deep throws down the field, my thing is that was basically the meta on offense in Madden 18. Pat's playbook, run deep crossers. The pass rush was, non-existent at times. But even in Madden 20, you could apply the Madden 16 aggressive catch theory that even though you might not get the aggressive catch every time, if you just bomb it up to Megatron 4 times in a row, you have a high probability of that pass being complete, throwing it up in aggressive catch. Now, I haven't played Madden 20 again, I haven't seen it, but, if you drop back 4 times and try to run a deep crosser, because those zones are still broken apparently, are you going to be able to block that ferocious pass rush 1 out of 4 times and get that deep crosser down the field? Probably. Now, I have heard that, mobile quarterbacks, they're not going to have the accuracy like they did in 19. I think that's great. Pocket passers are the only ones that have that accuracy. Patrick Mahomes, I think one of his abilities is, perfect accuracy outside of the pocket on non-high and low throws. So that's some of the stuff I heard from the beta. I also heard the RPOs are, there is downfield blocking in those, so that's good, so people don't just throw long developing routes on there. So that's the video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.